Right, we're going to continue with the bulletin for now. The hashtag Total Shutdown March in Pretoria is underway. We're going to now cross live to our reporter Nhlanhla Jele, who's covering that protest for us. Nhlanhla, thank you so much for your time. Have they handed over the memorandum yet?
Good afternoon to you and to our viewers at home, Thabo. In fact, we just got to the union buildings where we are expecting them to hand over a memorandum. Behind me, the program is expected to start. What I've heard is going to take place in the program is different women with their experiences are going to start talking and give an account of what happened to them based on the issues that they faced with their partners. But joining me right now is one of the organizers of the total shutdown, and her name is Nhlanhla. Can you just tell us how we got here? I understand everybody, all the organizers met on Facebook.
We did, actually. It started from a status update on Facebook where one of our organizers was like, you know what, I'm tired of this. We need to shut this country down as women, with 52% of the population, and we're getting killed. There's a femicide in this country and nothing's happening. So we got together on Messenger, on Facebook, and started the movement. And little by little, it started with 2, 5, 10, 15 women. Next thing, 300. Next thing, 20,000. Next thing, we're over 100,000 women on the group. And they just were amazing in terms of mobilizing on the ground. They started in WhatsApp groups. They started on social media. They went everywhere. They got women out of their homes in each and every single province. And they just said, this is our movement and we're adopting it.
And what is your message that you're bringing here? I understand you're handing over a memorandum, but what else are you saying to the president, to the Department of Women, to everybody in the country, in fact?
Okay, firstly, what the chief demand currently is that we want a gender summit by the 28th of August. So it needs to have convened by the 28th of August. We need a date for that gender summit before we leave. We need that date to come from the president himself. He must take us seriously. He must come and he must address the women here, tell us how he takes gender-based violence seriously, or we're not going to leave. What's the purpose of this gender summit is that we are actually going to sit down with Treasury, with all the departments. We're going to sit down with NGOs, with community-based organizations and ordinary women, and we're going to map out a plan to end gender-based violence in this country. So that gender plan needs to actually be budgeted, so Treasury needs to be there, everybody needs to be on board, all hands on deck. We're doing this. There's deadlines allocated to this, and if those deadlines are not made, trust me, you'll see this again.
It's quite a huge turnout this afternoon that we're seeing here at the union buildings. Anywhere on other provinces, what's happening that side?
Parliament is on fire. Parliament is on fire. Women came in their numbers in Parliament. Women came in their numbers at Supreme Court of Appeals. Women came in their numbers in Durban. Women came in their numbers in Newcastle, in PE, all over the country. We had 19 marches planned for today, and all of them went off without a hitch.
And lastly, can you just tell us from here onwards, what do you expect to happen?
From here onwards, as I said, Gender Summit. Once the Gender Summit has convened and the deadlines have been put out, we're going to communicate that to the women in this movement because these are their demands. They came up with them individually. They supported this movement. They said this is what we want from this government. So government needs to be held accountable to the deadlines at the Gender Summit. If they're not, no elections next year.
Thank you very much. That was Nhlanhla, one of the organizers of the total shutdown. As you have heard, she did mention that one of the chief demands that is in the memorandum is that they want a gender summit by the 28th of August this year. As you can see, a lot of women are lined up and they're willing to talk to us. And just joining us now, she's just going to tell us, how do you feel about being here? What is your message to the president or whoever is you delivering the memorandum to?
I've been waiting for this day for quite some time, and I came here just for one reason. Last year I lost my friend, my best friend, Dombozuko Peter. She was murdered by her partner. Until today, the perpetrator is still walking the streets free. Nothing has been done. So I plead to the government, can the Department of Police do something, lock these perpetrators behind bars for a very, very long time because they don't deserve to walk around the streets with us. They are animals.
As you have heard, another woman just said to us that she feels government needs to do something to lock the perpetrators away. Some more women are joining us this afternoon. Can you just tell us why you are here? How do you feel about being here? And what is the message to the government?
We're here because we're women and we want to stop being killed. We want to end gender-based violence. And we want them to stop killing lesbians. We want the government to take real action in protecting us and taking reports of violence seriously, especially sexual violence. any sort of violence around, domestic violence, all sorts of violences. We want it to be taken seriously. Thank you.
As you have heard, they want the government to do something to stop sexual violence, to make sure that the perpetrators who are killing women on the ground are actually getting locked up and arrested. Some more women are joining me just to give us an account. Can you just tell us, you are topless this afternoon. Tell us what this is supposed to symbolize.
This is supposed to symbolize that men should stop killing women. It doesn't mean that even if they have power against us, we're still strong. We're sharp. We're going to, hey, so I shy.
Do you have a story or anything, any account that you can give to us just briefly?
No, not really, but I've seen the story about, I think it was Karabo from Q. She was married and left in the bushes. Yeah, she was married by the boyfriend.
Thank you. As you have heard, Thabo, women are saying that enough is enough. They can't take it anymore. Government needs to step in. I actually read one of the posters that said, Ramaphosa Tumega Siyagutuma. So they're basically saying to the government that this needs to stop. Perpetrators need to be put behind bars. And as you can see right behind me on my right, the program is expected to start, and we are anticipating to hear stories from some of the women who have been through trauma, who have been abused by their partners, and some women who came here on the ground and we spoke to did say to us that they're here because some of their friends were abused by their partners, and they're here because of also those who lost their lives. And earlier we observed a moment of silence by Medforum Hospital here in Pretoria, where just crying happened because they were mourning. It was just a moment of silence just to remember all those women who lost their lives at the hands of their partners, and also some of the victims who actually survived were also here. They are still here even this afternoon, and we're going to hear more from them on the podium this afternoon.
All right, and I hear they've got quite a few words for the president.
Thabo, they're saying enough is enough. I mean, Mandisa Kanyile did say to us that if the president doesn't come out today and address them and actually give a plan or a way forward on how they plan on combating gender-based violence in the country, they can forget about elections. Certain calls or certain people have come out and said that this is a serious issue in the country. So those are things that they say. I mean, I read a poster that said Ramaphosa Siyagutuma Tumega. So they're basically saying to the president, and as I also said, that one of their chief demands in the memorandum is a gender summit by close to the end of August this year. They're demanding that it should happen, and government should set out a plan on how they're actually planning to work with women and combating gender-based violence against women and children in the country.
All right, Nhlanhla, much appreciated there. Thank you for your time. Our reporter Nhlanhla Jele coming to you live from the Union buildings, where demonstrators are waiting to hand over a memorandum of demand to the presidency.